that's pretty much the trilogy of being 16: sex, driving, and drinking. Hey guys, today I am very excited to make this video. This is for you 16-year-olds. I am currently 21 years old. My name's Tiffany, in case you don't know me. When I was 16, I made a video called Dear 12-Year-Olds, in which I gave advice and things that I would recommend for 12-year-olds to do or not do, based on things that I did and should not have done. And that actually became my #1 most viewed video, so I've kind of made it a tradition every few years to go back and make more videos. I've made a Dear 14-Year-Olds video, and today is 16. Sometimes people ask, why didn't you do 11 or 13 or 15? I can't do it for every age, but these are just generalizations of what happened to me and my friends and my peers at these ages. So it may not apply exactly to you, but I hope that this advice is still helpful. To be quite honest, when I was 16, all I cared about was driving and sex. My #1 concern was getting my license and getting my own car and just having the freedom to go wherever I wanted. And sex was just a scary new possibility because at that time I was in my first real relationship, and you know, as things got more and more serious and time went on, I was like, sex. And I know that everybody loses their virginity at different times, but sex is a human thing. It's a thing that most people think about, and especially in high school are very worried or nervous about. So first I'm just gonna focus on sex and some advice that I have for that. I do remember, not even with just like actual sex, just kind of the entire experience of your first times doing everything. Every single sexual thing that you do is nerve-wracking, and it's scary, but it's also exciting. And I remember being worried about like being good and like wanting to be this like sexy person, but it's like it's so strange to set those expectations on someone who hasn't been a sexual being yet. So for those of you who are worried about sex or doing anything sexual, please make sure you're with someone that you're comfortable with. Everybody has a different idea of who they want to be with. They just want to be with someone. They want to be with someone they love. Wherever you're at, you just need to be comfortable. You need to be ready. And the big question is, when am I ready? I'm never gonna feel ready, right? It's different for everyone. My friend Ashley Elizabeth makes really, really great videos about sex, so you should check out her channel. And one time she said something that really stuck to me. She said, if you're thinking about having sex with someone and you don't know if you're ready or not, think about if you would be okay being completely naked in front of them. If you're comfortable with that, you will be comfortable enough to have sex with them. And that isn't to say that you have to be 100% naked to have sex, or that you have to have the lights on and be completely visible. It's completely up to you whether you want lights on, lights off, clothing, whatever. But I do feel like that's a good piece of advice, even if you just take it metaphorically. If you feel like you can literally be naked in front of that person, if you can be that vulnerable, then you can probably trust them to be a good sexual partner. Second thing, dear 16-year-olds, you're not gonna be a goddess or a sex god the first time you do anything. So don't worry about it, you know, listen. Communication is so important. I feel like that's something that's definitely missing from most early sexual experiences, because you don't want to embarrass your partner, you don't want to embarrass yourself. But honestly, the sooner you learn to just communicate, like simple little things like, oh, why don't you do this? I really like it when you do that. It'll make your sex life so much easier. Just don't ignore it forever and decide not to say anything about it, because then nothing will change. Your partner cannot guess what you're thinking or what you really enjoy unless you are honest with them. Sex advice videos, love it. Another quick thing about sex, and everybody says this because it's very important, consent is everything. Please don't let anyone pressure you into having sex or doing anything. There are a lot of ways that somebody can subtly pressure you, and then there are ways that somebody can be very obvious and very threatening and possibly violent. So just do your best to communicate clearly with your partner when you do not want something, and if they're not comfortable with you saying no, you really need to leave that situation. But anyway, this video is not all about sex, it's about other 16-year-old worries, and we all remember there were a lot of them. So back to driving. Dear 16-year-olds, please be safe driving. It is so scary. I've heard my little brother, who's 16 now, holy shit, this video is for him. No, disregard everything I've said. Really though, shout out to the 16-year-olds. So my little brother has told me about some of his friends or people from high school who drive irresponsibly, just literal reckless, speeding around at night, even drinking and driving at 16 with other kids in the car. It makes me want to cry. It's so dangerous, and I'm just imagining the worst possible things. I'm tearing up right now. I feel like your mom. And we've all heard about accidents, horrible, horrible tragedies of, you know, young kids dying in horrific car accidents or, you know, getting injured or anything. You do not want to put yourself in danger. You don't want to put your friends in danger. You don't want to put anybody else on the road in danger. So don't treat a car like a toy. I know it feels like a toy. It's exciting, it's fun, driving is cool, being with your friends is cool, but please take it seriously. Do not speed. It's not cool. It literally isn't. You could literally kill someone or yourself, or you could get arrested or ruin your whole future because you wanted to like speed. No. And then drinking and driving. I mean, that's never okay, but when you're literally underage, and you shouldn't even be driving around friends in your car, and you've been drinking, that is the actual worst combination of things. And if you ever see anyone you know about to go do that, if somebody is driving recklessly or is about to go drink and drive, please stop them. Don't ever worry about seeming like a buzzkill or seeming overly worried or being a tattletale, I don't know what the kids say, because it's a valid concern. Overall, communication is like the biggest tip that I can give anyone, but learn to communicate at all times. So when you see someone doing something that they shouldn't, or something dangerous, or just as a friend, you don't want them to risk hurting themselves, please speak up about it. This sounds like an actual PSA. The older I get, the weirder it is to talk to these younger groups of kids. But that being said, driving was the best thing that ever happened to me. Buying my first car was the best thing ever. And yeah, I learned a lot of lessons after crashing it twice. Not because I was necessarily a bad driver. There are just things that you have to kind of experience. So be very, 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 very careful. And you should be fine. Always, always wear your seatbelt, please. Moving on to drinking. That's pretty much the trilogy of being 16. Sex, driving, and drinking. Around 16ish, high school, whatever, is when people really start to drink, usually. I actually started to drink in middle school, and then I got over it because I went too hard when I was like 12. But for most people, high school is when they drink, and just the same old rules that you probably hear a lot, or the same old recommendations. Literally the hardest I've ever gone, and I'm 21 years old now. I'm in college. To this day, the hardest I've ever gone was when I first started drinking when I was like 12, 13. And that was because I was drinking like straight up like little glasses of vodka, chasing it with like whipped cream. What was I doing? I was 12. But it scarred me so badly that after that, I could not smell hand sanitizer because of the alcohol in it without gagging for years. So I got over my drunk phase very fast, my like drink till I puke phase. And then I finally started to realize I can drink a little bit and I can get that little buzz, woo! And I'm a super lightweight to this day, so it's easy. But drinking is a lot more fun when you're in control, and you do not have to drink to black out. You don't have to drink to where you have no idea where you are or you're falling all over the place. In my experience, it's really fun to be able to drink, have a good time, dance, get loose, whatever, and then go to bed without puking, wake up without a hangover. It's the best. I don't know why people want to drink and then make themselves feel like shit for the next day or so. You don't have to do that to have fun, and I know you want to drink, I know you want to try it out, but just like go slow. Like when I was 12, I was pounding glasses of vodka. That's disgusting, and I could not do that now. Have one drink, drink a little bit, you know, over the course of a few hours, have a few drinks. Make sure you have a ride home, make sure you Uber home, whatever, be safe. Don't let anybody else pour you drinks. All of these things that you've heard all over the place, but please listen to them. Please take them seriously. And I guess last piece of advice, dear 16-year-old, you probably don't know what you're gonna do with your life. Hey, guess what? I'm 21, neither do I. I know there's a lot of pressure, especially once you're like a sophomore-ish in high school, or actually from the beginning of high school, whatever, they start early now, to figure out where you're gonna go to college, or where you think you're gonna go, or what you think you're gonna major in, and do not feel the pressure to know everything at that point. Start looking into colleges. Start figuring out what kind of experiences you like. Start figuring out if you even need to go to college, or if you could go to more of like a trade school, if you want to go to like cosmetology school, do hair. There are so many other options. 4-year college is not the only option. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're less if you choose that that's not what you want to do. Dear 16-year-olds, I love you all so much. Please be careful, but also have fun and love your friends and enjoy this age, because in a few years, you're all gonna be leaving and going to different places. So really cherish it right now. High school is a lot of things. It's crazy, but it's wonderful. And you'll never be back at that point. So just enjoy it while you can. Okay, thanks, bye.